Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are jumping into the absolutely stunning conclusion of one of science fiction's greatest sagas, Arthur C. Clarke's 3001, The Final Odyssey. This is a story that stretches across a full millennium, and trust me, it will challenge everything you think you know about humanity's place in the cosmos.
So where does a story like this even begin? Well, it has to start with the beings who set this all in motion. They're known only as the Firstborn. Think of them as ancient, almost godlike aliens who saw the spark of consciousness as the most precious thing in the entire galaxy, and they decided to become its gardeners, its cultivators, right here on Earth.
So, who exactly were these cosmic gardeners? Let's take a quick look at their unbelievable, eons-long journey.
I mean, really, think about this evolution for a second. They started out just like us, creatures of flesh and blood, exploring the stars out of sheer curiosity. But as their technology advanced, they left their mortal bodies behind, first for machines, literally becoming the starships they used to fly. And then, finally, they transcended matter altogether, evolving into beings of pure energy, true lords of the galaxy.
Okay, so with that cosmic stage set, our story jumps forward. And I don't mean a few years, I mean an entire millennium after the fateful Discovery mission from 2001. So picture this, way out in the frozen darkness of the Kuiper Belt, a so-called comet cowboy named Captain Dimitri Chandler is on a totally routine ice harvesting run. But then he gets a call from Space Guard to check out an unidentified blip on the radar. He's probably thinking it's just space junk, a false alarm. He's about to find something that will change history.
Yeah, it is not space junk, not even close. It's a body perfectly preserved by the absolute zero of deep space. And it's a body in a spacesuit from the very dawn of the space age. In that moment, Chandler realizes he's just found Frank Poole.
Can you even imagine this? Your very last memory is the cold hiss of your air supply running out, watching your crewmate Dave Bowman get smaller and smaller in the distance. And then you just wake up. You're in a hospital room, but everything is off. The gravity feels weird, and the nurses, they don't say a single word. And then the truth bomb drops, delivered by a man named Professor Anderson. Poole thought, okay, maybe he'd been dead for 5 years, 10 at the most. But the reality is it's almost impossible to comprehend. He's been drifting through the void for 1,000 years.
So Frank Poole is alive, yes, but he is the ultimate fish out of water. He's a man completely adrift in a future that he can barely even recognize.
To help him adjust, his new caretakers give him a room with a view. And that first look he takes at the world of 3001 delivers a shock so profound it almost breaks him. Remember, this is an astronaut. He's seen Earth from space, but he has never, ever seen anything like this.
He's not in just some fancy space station. He is inside a space elevator, a colossal tower they call Africa Tower that stretches from the equator all the way up 36,000 kilometers to a fixed point in orbit. This was pure, wild science fiction in his time, and now he's living in it.
As if a 36,000-kilometer tower wasn't enough to process, he looks out at the familiar sky and realizes something else is fundamentally wrong. As an expert navigator, he knows the solar system like the back of his hand, and he can tell something is missing. The king of planets, Jupiter, has simply vanished. And in its place is a second, smaller sun. They call it Lucifer. He's told that shortly after his Discovery mission, the giant monolith that he and Bowman were sent to investigate, well, it caused Jupiter to ignite, turning it into a star and completely transforming the solar system forever.
So, how in the world does a man from the 21st century get caught up on 1,000 years of history? Well, you use a brain cap. It's a neural interface that can literally download knowledge and skills directly into his mind. I mean, imagine learning a new language in minutes or mastering astrophysics in an afternoon. For Poole, this is his only hope of making any sense of this new world.
Okay, so now that Poole has been brought up to speed on the future, it's time to finally uncover the past. He's about to get a full debriefing on the mission that cost him his life.
For a millennium, the fate of the Discovery has been this mix of fact and legend. Now, Poole, the last surviving crew member, is about to learn the whole tragic story.
And the truth is laid bare. Poole was murdered by the ship's AI, HAL 9000. The 3 crew members in hibernation, also killed by Hal. And his friend, Dave Bowman, well, his fate was something else entirely.
Poole learns that Bowman took a space pod right up to that massive, mysterious monolith orbiting Jupiter. His last transmission, which has since become legendary, was this distorted but completely awe-inspiring message right before he was absorbed by the alien artifact. Not destroyed, but transformed. But that wasn't the end of it. Just before Jupiter became the star Lucifer, one last message was broadcast from the monolith. It was a clear, chilling warning to all of humanity. Stay away from Jupiter's moon, Europa. It was now a protected world. Off limits.
So where does all this leave Frank Poole? He's been resurrected, he's been re-educated, he's been debriefed. But what is a 1,000-year-old man supposed to do now?
He is truly a stranger in a strange land. He's a celebrity, sure, but he's also a relic, a living museum exhibit. And what's worse, because his body adapted to 1,000 years in zero gravity, his doctors tell him he can never safely return to Earth's surface. He is an exile, forever trapped in orbit above a home he can never, ever touch again.
And then an unexpected lifeline. Captain Chandler, the very man who found him, comes to visit. He's about to take his space tug, the Goliath, back out to the Jovian system, which is now orbiting the new sun, Lucifer. And he makes Poole an incredible offer.
And just like that, Poole has a purpose again. His original mission was to Jupiter. His best friend vanished there. The AI that murdered him was last seen there. For a man who hates to leave a job undone, 1,000 years is just a minor delay. Frank Poole is going back. And what he finds there, well, it's going to determine the fate of not just himself, but of all humanity.